All right, well, now the countdown's over. We're back, or maybe we're here. I don't know. We're kind of rebranding everything. We're here. So, as normal, Sam, Luke, Nolan, Lane, except we're joined by a guest today, Eli Finley out of Calloway County. Eli, how
Yes,
you doing?
sir. I'm good. How are y'all
Playing the
doing?
thing. Hold up. We have, they're so stupid.
I love it.
I don't want to use those. Anyway, Eli, should have our own soundboard. That'd be actually dope. We could buy like an Elgato. We could go all the way down that rabbit hole. Anyway, what do we got on the slate today? We got Eli joining us. We're going to ask him some questions. Eli is down in Calloway County. Eli, you were ranked, I can't remember the exact source, but you were given the title of co-best player in your region of last year. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's a big honor for me. Obviously, something that I've been working for, and I was very, very blessed to be recognized with that honor this year. So I'm just really appreciative.
Eli, I got a question. So I'm sure all of us at some point, played elementary school basketball where it's all about making the fundamental passes. And, at what point when you were playing, did you realize oh, I'm better than everyone else around me? This is not going to end soon. This is going to be a thing that I continue to be good at and I continue to get better at. When did that click for you?
Well, in about sixth grade, I had an older gentleman named LD Carey, and he was a guy who actually taught a Murray State women's basketball player how to shoot a ball and stuff. And he really just he helped me a lot with my game and just really gave me a lot more confidence in myself to go, man, I can do this. I can be more of a big time player really. And just I feel like in that aspect in middle school, I really was just I feel like this is something I can succeed in.
Speaking of success,
and then
he's an alumni.
When you say success, I think that before you came on, one of the things that we wanted to know is you are, according to your Max Prep, still a sophomore in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Rounded out your sophomore. You just rounded out your sophomore year. It's about the time for a high school athlete to start thinking about recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had schools reach out to you?
So I've actually been on a few unofficial visits. I went to Belmont, Lipscomb, and Liberty in the past year, and those are three schools I'm very interested in, and they're actively recruiting me, and so I'm really excited to see what the future holds for them. I'm this summer. Hopefully, we'll get to pick up some more interest and offers too, playing travel ball.
Yeah, that sounds great. You said what schools? Liberty,
Belmont, and Lipscomb. They're all kind of mid-major D1.
Yeah,
Lane's our mid-major guy. That's what Lane is here for.
Yeah,
Lane has in the background a nice video of WKU field toppers.
Love it.
I'm a huge mid-major guy, and people say it's almost kind of disrespectful to be viewed as a kid who's going to go to a mid-major school and that you're not going to a Power 5 like Louisville or Kentucky or the big ones like Indiana and everything. How do you feel, and how can you respond to that by showing that your game if you go to the mid-major level, can ball up with these Power 5 guys like we see every year in the tournament?
Well, I would consider myself a pretty athletic guy, but I'm not 6'6", going to put both my elbows in the rim. So I'm probably not going to be a Power 5 player, but, I think you see guys in the NBA like Rajon Rondo, who is just, man, he's all IQ. And I think that you see a lot of mid-major guys that end up being more successful than the Power 5 guys because they play the game in a smarter way.
Mm-hmm. I would have to agree with that. I mean, you brought up Rajon Rondo, and although he did go to, UK and everything, he's one of the most highly renowned players at making passes and everything. He averaged almost 10 assists his whole career. Mm-hmm. And, if there's any other players that I would say who've come from these smaller schools, I would say like Stephen Curry out of Davidson and everything, kind of as an overlooked school. But, once you get into the tournament in these things, which might be a stage that you get on in the future, hopefully let's keep our fingers crossed that, you can ball up and you can be like the next Cinderella story, George Mason, Loyola Chicago,
Yeah, I agree. I think that
Yeah, this is all recruitment. So
I want to.
WKU.
If you go to Western, that'd be awesome.
That's funny.
I'm
That's
honored.
funny.
But with we're just talking about different paths for you. All right, go ahead, Nolan.
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say my dream school, obviously growing up in Kentucky, it's got to be UK. You know what I mean? Like, that's just every kid in Kentucky's dream.
Homegrown.
No, man, come on. I got some friends that are Louisville fans. It's kind of like a point where I'm like, look, I'm not sure if we can be friends if you support the Cards.
One.
Yeah, rough year to be a Card.
One thing that I wanted to point out is I'm kind of an NBA guy over college sports guy, but I was looking today. You have almost the exact same stat line in your league as current NBA player DeJounte Murray has in his. Like
Really?
Down to the exact same amount of points, the exact same amount of assists, and only about 0.4 rebounds off. When you look at that, there was conversations this year about DeJounte Murray maybe making an all-star game. There's conversations about him being comeback player of the year, all of these things. I'm sure that I'm the first person to ever give you the DeJounte Murray comparison, unless I'm mistaken. But when you think about it and you think that you're playing at the same level in your league as an almost all-star is playing in the NBA, does that kind of give you a confidence boost? And is that things that you think about during the season of, I got to make it to the next step and I have to be like these guys?
Definitely. That's a good way to look at it, is just kind of trying to think about what can I do to help my team win? What can I do for my brothers on my team? I feel like DeJounte Murray, I love his confidence. And so if I could steal something from him, it would be his confidence. I feel like that kind of playing at, a level where you are scoring a fair amount of points and putting a lot of shots up can come with some pressure. But I feel like that, just being confident through that and dealing with that and knowing that you're just out there doing the best that you can, alleviates some of that pressure and makes it feel easier.
Yeah, I completely agree to that. Yeah, and I know that I am definitely the first to give you the DeJounte Murray
Definitely,
comparison,
I haven't heard that one before.
I'll go ahead and take credit for that. And I don't know if you're a Hawks fan, but if you are, I would recommend a jersey. I think they're 110 on Fanatics.com. But if he ever has a free agency move, we'll try to get into the Pacers or something close. I did want to hop into a little bit about today's sports since we only have, a little bit of time. The thing that happened that broke today is Jim Boeheim. Boeheim, sorry. I was reading it.
Man.
Thinking about what I was
Come
saying.
on, Luke. You're supposed to be on the freaking sports podcast, dude.
I swear I actually
your
know
only
who he
job is to know this stuff. That's it.
That's all I really know who he is. I was reading the words that were on the page in front of me.
Jim Boeheim's going to just teleport to Owensboro, Kentucky and just slap the hell out of you, dude.
Well, that's the furthest place he's teleporting because he's not teleporting to the coaching jobs next season.
Okay, but have you seen that dude around student reporters? He hates them. So he's not. I don't think a 19-year-old from Kentucky is going to be any different. So
he won't have to deal with him anymore, though.
It also seems like he maybe hates winning. So
he got fired. Let's just be honest. He probably got fired. There's no way he retired.
Probably.
He literally said 3 weeks ago that he was coming back. That dude got fired. Eli, what do you think about Jim Boeheim?
I have no comment. I gotta be honest. I don't even think I know
pedestrians.
who Jim Boeheim is.
Oh, did no one catch that?
Lane, you can't just get away with that.
Wait, what did Lane say?
Somebody died, Lane.
I knew it was coming.
He referenced
the
the
Did you not know that,
controversy with
Luke?
Jim Boeheim.
Yeah, he killed a lady driving. Hit a lady and killed her.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back in 2019 or 20.
So,
Oh, great.
what do you mean? Oh, nice.
Is that wait? Was that the Syracuse guy?
Yeah, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Coach.
Oh,
Sorry.
I know who that is. Never mind. Yeah, that's
How
unfortunate.
about
Who's
that
that?
though? How about that? You want to know the way Jim? You want to know how successful Jim Boeheim was though in the last like 10 to 15 years. He didn't even know his name. So like, let's just be honest here. He got really dipped off there, dude.
Yeah, but like you got to look at like his full coaching history. He had guys like early 2000 Syracuse was top tier.
No, they weren't. They had 1 year.
And in that
Carmelo
1 year, they were
Anthony.
top tier. Melo.
Yeah,
Eli-
Carmelo won a title. That was it.
Eli, you said you're currently in the process of recruiting, and one of the schools that reached out to you is Liberty.
Mhm.
I just checked; they fell earlier today in the ASUN championship to Kennesaw State.
Yep.
When you're in the recruiting process, because I promise you, none of the other people in this call have ever tried to have been recruited for any type of athletics.
Eli knows our athleticism. You've seen the extent of our athleticism.
You can only speak to this. I think Nolan got an offer from Tennessee State about a food eating competition. But I think that's
No.
Hey,
Oh man.
it's not that bad. Look,
He's smaller.
look.
than
I'll take
you.
off my shirt, dude.
Anyway, so like when you watch a team that has offered you, or I don't know if there's been official offer, but I know they're recruiting you. Are you like seriously cheering for them because that could be your future alma mater, or like how does your fandom work for a team that you could possibly play for in the future?
Definitely. When a school starts recruiting me, I go on like all my social media and follow all their guys, and I start keeping up with their games. And I was definitely pulling for Liberty. It hurt to see them lose. And they've actually got a player on their team named Colin Porter, who is from Ashland, Kentucky. And me and him played against each other last year in a tournament. And so getting to watch him at Liberty now is pretty cool.
Nice.
And hopefully, maybe if it comes true, playing with him in a few seasons.
Yeah, it would be a fun backcourt.
Did anybody have anything?
Hang on, I got a quick question for Lane. Which one do you like better right now, Eli Finley or Ty Price?
Eli Finley, because I've actually talked to him.
Yeah.
He was simping hard.
Man.
He was simping hard for Ty
Although-
Price.
Dude, I like Ty Price's game, but this interview's not about Ty Price. This interview's about Eli Finley.
I know. I just gotta add that in though. You had an entire night where our entire Instagram feed was just you going Ty Price, and then that was the whole thing. So I just had to ask.
Was it actually?
Like, I'm sure it is at a higher level for NBA players or college athletes, but even on a high school level, do you watch other players of your caliber, like, or is that something that you're one track minded? You're watching your team and you're watching your opponents, or do you ever watch other people who are nationally ranked and your co-player of the month and all of these things, or are those people whose game that you pay attention to?
So I try to do a good job of watching like our game film, studying, breaking down my film, what I did well, could improve upon. I watch our opponent's film, but then I'll also pick out 2 or 3 guys at different levels who I think my game resembles. And so I'll pick out a guy from
DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, no, I don't play anything like him. But there's a guy at UNLV. His name is Jordan McCabe, and
Yeah.
I watch him a lot. I study a lot of his film.
Clint
Jared
Capella.
McCain in high school is a guy that I feel like I play like. I watch his film. So there's just different guys I try and pick out.
What about Zion Williamson?
I feel like that's a pretty good
Yeah,
player
he's athletic.
comparison for me. I feel like that's a good player comparison.
Dude, as long as
Another one- another one.
Brooks right now. Did you see what? Hold up. Have you seen the stuff Draymond said today about Dylan Brooks?
I did not. What did he say?
What's happening with this Memphis Grizzlies team?
Well,
They're falling
first
apart,
off,
dude.
Ja
Grizzlies
is-
are falling apart.
Jaw
Ja's
has
doing
Jaw
Jaw.
dropped the charges.
First guy I have seen
Well,
hustle
they
his
said they
way
were
out of
charged-
the league.
Oh, dude.
Exactly.
Most people talk about trying to get their mom out of the hood. He's trying to put his mom back into
That
it.
is
Like he wants to
Yeah.
be there so bad. He wants to have another come up story. Like I don't get what it is. What happened with Dylan Brooks?
Dude, so this Dylan Brooks and Draymond have just been going at it for a while now. Well, today Draymond got on his podcast, and Dylan Brooks just keeps running his mouth about Draymond, and Draymond obviously 4 rings, DPOY multiple times. I think he's Draymond Green. People have tried and they tried to mess with him, but you can't do it. He's Draymond Green. Dylan Brooks is not an exception because Draymond gets on his podcast and the first thing he says is like you can't talk to me the way you're talking to me. Because I didn't just, like, fit into this defense. I created this defense. And he's like, you have done nothing? So now there's just this whole beef. And, like, it's been there for a while. But today I think Draymond just put an end to it with Dylan Brooks.
How does, like, random NBA beef even start? Like, we're going to come out tomorrow and, like, Marcin Gortat is going to be, like, live tweeting LeBron James and, like, it's just the most random guys. They don't even play the same position, do they? Isn't Dylan Brooks a shooting guard?
Yeah.
I have, honestly,
Yeah.
How do they even, like, how does Dylan Brooks on the Grizzlies be like, yo, that tall guy on the Warriors, man, I got something against him. Like, was there a hard foul that led to this, or did he simply just not like him?
I honestly don't know, because it's like, okay, this whole beef is so far away from the court now that it's hard to go back and see where it started. Because, like, every other post ESPN makes is Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green. And it's like, guys, just show us what freaking happened. Like, go back, please.
Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to throw in here, the mother of Jamar Chase's child had tweeted or put on her Instagram story today, Mr. Chase, you have some skeletons in your closet. I know the real you. Stop dodging the courts and responsibilities. You know yourself that I have multiple videos that will end your career. I'll have my attorney at the Bengals facility in 2.5 seconds. You know what's up.
T. Higgins, step right up, baby.
With the recent news about Joe Mixon and his shooting an 11-year-old and Jamar Chase apparently having like sexual assault videos of him sexually assaulting his baby mom. If Joe Burrow wins a championship, does the GOAT debate just end? Like, Tom Brady, yeah, he has Patrick Mahomes.
No,
But Joe Burrow's
It
so
definitely
swaggy
doesn't.
and likable.
If Joe Burrow, if Vanilla Ice leads like the longest yard team from the prison grounds to win to win the Super Bowl, does the GOAT debate just cease to exist? I think
Yeah,
it has to.
no, definitely not. Tom Brady won with a lot less talent in the past. There's no way, dude.
Okay,
This
but
isn't actually a debate, right? You're joking. I pray you're joking, dude. I really do.
Oh, I'm joking, but like, there's gotta, the MVP award doesn't really fit what it would mean to bring a bunch of convicts to hoist the Lombardi. Like, imagine what the conversation would be for Patrick Mahomes if like, Travis Kelce had like a DUI. Like the conversation.
It's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
It's not the same.
I have a feeling a
like
DUI
Patrick Mahomes
and
deserves
shooting an
more credit.
11-year-old.
So that is a good
Dude
point.
lost his
Alex.
entire receiving core.
So I don't even think Patrick Mahomes has to get 7 Super Bowls to pass Brady as the GOAT. It's kind of my comparison with LeBron and MJ. I personally think LeBron is the greatest of all time. Eli, I'd love your take on that. But you want to go ahead and give it? Who do you think the GOAT is in basketball?
I'm MJ
Through and through.
I mean, in my mind, it's not
Lame.
even close. I mean, when you're 6-0 in the finals, he's the GOAT.
But doesn't LeBron have 11 trips to the finals and didn't
I mean,
MJ
he's-
get knocked
I
out
mean,
in the
the-
first round like 4 times?
But how many?
And the
how
thing
many
is,
did he
with
lose,
like,
Oh, like 9, right? Or like 7 or something?
though? I mean, isn't
He's got a losing
the
record.
greatest player?
How many
He's the
how many
biggest
championships
player
he
on the
got?
biggest stage.
But he's lost more NBA finals than Michael Jordan has been to. Like,
Yeah.
How many championships? How many
But
championships does
MJ
LeBron
also,
have?
4.
played baseball for a
4.
few years for no reason.
And sucked at
LeBron could
it.
have played football last
Yeah.
year.
and I mean, you can't use Space Jam as an argument anymore because both of them were in the Space
Yeah.
Jams. Like,
Michael
people
Jordan had a better
using-
Space Jam.
started
There's
using
only
that
one Space
argument.
Jam that has Don Cheadle in it, though. There's only one Space Jam with Don Cheadle.
Yeah, the only movie in which Don Cheadle sucks in, may I add.
But yeah, I don't even think that. I don't think Mahomes has to have 7 rings to pass Brady. I think if Mahomes got 4, I think that the conversation is close because I think that like his athleticism like puts his level to an entire different game where he doesn't have to have the stats. He has like the actual physical ability to.
Well, in that case, it would be literally the same thing as LeBron versus MJ because the whole thing is
Would be.
LeBron's ability over MJ's championships. That's exactly what it would be. So, like,
Eli, you're not going to hurt my feelings, but do you think that people who say that LeBron is the greatest have a recency bias? Or, like, what do you think that the opinion is for people who do believe that LeBron is the greatest? Because you said you don't even think it's close. So how do people like me form these out of outrageous opinions?
Well, I mean, I can see the other side of it too, though, because like I can see the LeBron point. I mean, he is the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Like, that's got to mean something. And obviously, you said the 11 straight finals. Like, he has very impressive accomplishments. I think it just depends on what you're basing your argument off of. Because, like, for me, for MJ, I base my argument off of undefeated in the finals. But, you know, that's not always what everybody's going to say is their argument. Like, different people are going to have different.
Russell.
Yeah. Like, if you're basing off championships, then you'd say Bill Russell. So, I mean, it's very debatable.
Do you want to try to get a Bill Russell comparison for your high school game? Because I know that we've given you Jordan, and I know that we've given you DeJounte Murray, but I can go Bill Russell. I just don't see it.
Eli,
John
if you want us
Collins.
to go on record, make a post. We'll say Eli Finley is the next Bill Russell. And we'll just end it there.
We'll say that Eli Finley is the next Bill Russell if you want us to, but that is not an opinion that we hold on our own.
I mean, honestly,
It's an opinion I hold.
I think
I'm all
it's
in.
between
I'm
Bill
all in.
Russell. It's between Bill Russell or Brian Scalabrine.
Brian Scalabrine.
Scalabrine. It's
That's
got to be
my
Scalabrine. They're both.
You see the White Mamba.
They're
Bro, we're
both
gonna hold
white.
you down, shave the top of your head, and like get it all bald and patchy. You're the next Alex Caruso.
Oh,
Slap a
yes.
headband on you, man.
Yeah.
You resemble his game a
The
lot.
guy from the Pelicans who got popular for like 5 days because he just had like 47 steals over the course of 5 games.
What'd you say?
Do you all know how?
Is
I
it
have no idea.
Alvarado or something?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was. It was Jose Alvarado. Yeah.
Played at Georgia Tech, yeah.
I had never heard of him, and then he was on ESPN like 10 times over the course of 3 days because he was just stealing the ball from every living player in existence, and then he disappeared from the face of the earth. I never heard about him again. I thought he was about to be an all-star that
He
year
was-
because of how often he
He was in the Rising Stars game this year.
Isn't he like old?
Yeah.
No,
No,
he
he-
just,
no, not
at
he,
all.
he just came out of college. He's a rookie.
Yeah, he's
He's a
on that
rookie, I
Georgia.
think,
He
this
was on
year.
that Georgia
Okay.
Tech team that won the ACC here a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It went on that little run.
How old is he? I thought he was a grown
That
man.
old. He almost went to Kentucky. He almost transferred to Kentucky. So like
Yeah.
a
He's
year
probably
ago.
like 23 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, every bit.
I thought that was like an old guy. Like I thought
No.
he was old.
Not at all. Have we talked
was
about the
thinking
combine
Rajon
yet?
Rondo age.
Have we talked about the combine?
No, we haven't. Eli,
Transition.
you have to say what Anthony Richardson, you want to say?
Yeah. Who's going first?
First draft pick.
Do you keep up
First
with the
draft
NFL?
pick. I do not keep up with the NFL at all. I just watch the Super Bowl. But first pick in
That's fair.
2020 and 2027 is my boy Calloway County quarterback Wyatt Robbins. You heard it
Write
here
it down.
first.
It's a
Bold take. Bold
He is
take.
going.
We get Patrick Mahomes comparison.
I mean, I would say his game more resembles like Lamar Jackson, but
Okay.
he's a dog.
That's respectable.
Again, if you
He's
want
like
an
a-
official comparison, we will give you an official comparison. If you
I
want
just
to
wanna
know,
know real
Next
quick.
Kurt Warner. Next Kurt Warner.
He's like Michael Vick, but if he like worked at an animal shelter instead of kick dogs. So we'll definitely look out for him.
Write
I
that
think
down.
like-
If he
He's
goes
like
to
Ray
UK,
Rice if
just
he was an
remember it.
elevator repairman.
Tyreek
Instead of
Hill
an
if he loved
elevator
his kids.
assaulty. Kareem Hunt if he was a
Deshaun Watson
kicker.
if he was the masseuse. All right.
Adrian
I think
Peterson if he didn't spank his son.
that
We're
wasn't
gonna end it
even
off with that.
That wasn't even a clever one for that one. That was just.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, if
He
owned
took a
daycare.
switch. He took a switch to his kid. I don't know. Anything than taking a switch to your kid's face would be better than, you know.
All right. The last thing we're going to talk about.
Actually, I had one more question for Eli about his
Well,
game.
you
It was
just-
just one question that I wanted to ask. What is the best feeling you can get in a basketball game? Because I always thought it was an and one, or if you hit a clutch three, hear the crowd chanting your name, everything. What is probably the coolest feeling?
The coolest feeling is definitely got to be winning a district championship or winning we've won a district and we've won two sectional titles in 2A. And the feeling after
Mhm.
those games, when you're in the locker room, like throwing the Gatorade on coach, it's one of the best feelings ever. Get to
So
celebrate
you
with
said
guys.
you said you've won 3 championships. 2 were what, and then 1 was the regional.
Oh, we won
District.
the 2A sectional twice, which is like the 2A state tournament. It's how you get a berth there. And then we won our district once last year.
Which of those feels better to win?
Oh, district for sure. Got to beat Murray at home. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, Murray Independent.
Hey, I got to hop off, guys, but I appreciate y'all having me on. Thank you.
Sam, play the thing.
You're welcome.
Play
No
the thing.
problem.
Send him
Play the
off.
thing.
All right. See y'all.
Do the thing.
I got
Send
the
our boy
touchdown.
off.
Thank you.
Salute.
It was a pleasure.
All right, take care, buddy.
All right.
Well, that
I
was
got
that.
out of the way.
Let's
What
talk
do we got
about
next?
some more stuff, I guess.
Yeah, we can go for another 10, 15 minutes.
Got up.
Hell yeah.
So a post that we're going to be making on our Instagram soon is Lane's mock draft. But before it goes public, I thought that we could take a dive into it.
Mm-hmm.
So Lane has the Colts trading up and the Bears trading back, Bryce Young being selected first. Now, Lane, I know that along with your mock draft that's going to be posted, you're also going to do some draft combine rises and some draft combine
Yes.
falls.
Yes.
You still have Anthony Richardson being selected as the 4th quarterback in the draft. You have Young at 1, Stroud at 2, Levis at 5, and then Richardson at 9. Do you think that the Anthony Richardson draft combine is going to have the same effect on teams that the Wilson pro day had on NFL teams? Zach Wilson's pro day.
Hold up. First, need to add one thing for credibility. Levis at 5 is a trade for that pick. Seattle's not taking Levis.
Is a trade, yes. Seattle will
Trade
not
with
be taking-
the Raiders trade up. The Raiders.
the Raiders
I
trade
just
up.
need to clarify that because like some poor guy is going to be listening and go, Seattle's going to take a quarterback? No, they're not. They're just not going to. Unless they do, which would be funny. Go ahead.
Yeah, and really addressing all those quarterbacks that Luke mentioned that I had in my draft. And with the teams that are in, keep the teams in mind, I feel like the Bears at number 1 can pull, the double trade down. They can move down to 2, see what they want, see if any other teams are interested, if the Texans want to hop up. If they think Bryce Young or CJ Stroud is their guy, whoever's more vulnerable to be taken. And then they can trade down to the Colts, which I went ahead and had them trading down to the Colts because I feel like the Colts can give a good offer. I mean, the Colts in terms of edge rushing, I think he's going to be a free agent. You got Yannick Ngakoue, who possibly could be re-signed. You have Shaq Leonard and then Bobby Okereke and everything. So I feel like the Colts defense isn't really a pressured kind of topic to go after or a position to go after, which they can use that as capital to get up and take their guy, which I think the Colts are probably the team that's in most dire need of a quarterback right now because I cannot name a single quarterback on the Colts roster.
Do you think – I got to ask you a question, though, Lane. I got to ask him a question real quick, though. You think that they're going to go for Young because they think that he can be more of a start day one type of guy instead of Levis? Or you think they're going to go with Levis because of the pro potential? Because,
well, I think the Colts at number 1, I had them taking Bryce Young. But I can see the Colts staying down at number 4 and being comfortable with taking a guy like Will Levis. I can see almost anything happening in this top 10 because, Josh McDaniels likes to run that pocket passer system, which is definitely what Will Levis is. And I mean, showing with his arm and his accuracy and his passing velocity, throw power and everything, he seems like the most competent passer right now in the top 5, aside from CJ Stroud. And I feel like the Raiders will see that and they'll make that move to jump up to get Will Levis. And with Anthony Richardson, I've been seeing all the comparisons he's Cam Newton 2.0 and everything. And I'd jump out and say he almost is Cam Newton 2.0. I mean, if you look at a lot of the things that he has, aside from, winning, attributes and everything about him was very similar to Cam Newton's combine. I was seeing a lot of these things. Definitely not similar to Rich Eisen's 40-yard dash.
It went slower this year, right? He was slower this year than last year.
Yeah, I think.
Hey Sam, do we
Yeah,
have a
this
breaking
year
news
he ran
thing
like a
going there?
5.4,
Sam, do we have a breaking
something like
news
that?
thing?
What is it?
Do we have a breaking news thing? We got some breaking news.
Do we have breaking news?
Yeah, do some breaking news. I got breaking news.
I can do a drum roll.
Okay, you ready? Texas Tech head coach Mark Adams has officially stepped down or been relieved of duties as
Did
Texas
they get
Tech
beat by
head
West
basketball
Virginia
coach.
earlier?
They
Yeah.
did.
They got beat by Preston,
Yeah.
Virginia, which I had.
He was not coaching though. Obviously, Adams had the racial slur incident or whatever it was. I don't know why I did that. That looked bad. Anyway, had the racial slur incident and had apparently had a bunch of disputes with players, physical altercations. So there's that. Mark Adams is out at Texas Tech. Rick Pitino, Texas Tech is yours, baby.
After Bobby Knight, they'll hire anybody.
Or they're going to hire Beard back. I bet they hire Chris Beard back.
So, Lane, real quick, I did want to go back to the mock draft before we dropped it as a whole. At number 8, you have the Falcons selecting Quentin Johnston out of TCU. Last season during the whole gambling thing, they traded Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars. I am somebody who weirdly has a lot of faith in the Falcons for next season. I don't understand.
Baby.
Shout
Rise
out Nolan, yeah.
Rise up.
I don't understand why I have faith in the Falcons. I know they're going to finish like 6-11, but I like the way that their roster would look in about 3 or 4 years, and I think the step starts now. Do you think that Quentin Johnston will play that dominant wide receiver role the same way Calvin Ridley did before his suspension, or do you think that this is just going to be another person for Desmond Ridder to underthrow to?
Really, at that spot in the draft, the Falcons can go one of, I'd say, 3 ways at receiver. You have Quentin Johnston, you have Jordan Addison, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. And I can see them taking
with you, though?
any 3 of those guys. Go ahead, Nolan.
As a Falcons fan, they don't need a receiver. They need defense or they need a quarterback. It's one or the other. They need edge help. Bad. They got no pass rush.
Desmond Ritter had a fine
No, he
year.
did not. I'm sorry. I watched him. He was not that good. He's not very good.
His stats aren't bad.
They're not good. He had 1 touchdown in 4 games. He couldn't get in the end zone. That's a pretty important part. But then again, Arthur Smith runs one of the dumbest, most backwards offenses I've ever seen. It's so behind, dude.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying before Nolan goes on a rant about the Falcons.
I'm going to go on a rant about the Falcons eventually.
Okay, but the thing that I can see, of course, the Falcons took Drake London last year, who's a bit more physical downfield receiver, similar to what Quentin Johnston is, although when we saw him at TCU this year, he was used on a lot of, across the field passes and everything, and he was very dominant at that. And I can see them taking a guy like Jordan Addison to fill in that slot position that Calvin Ridley left wide open, or you can move Drake London down with that bigger size and physicality, quite like the Steelers did when they drafted Juju Smith-Schuster and what propelled him into being a top receiver.
You had to mention the Steelers, didn't you?
Well,
yeah,
that's one instance that I know. The only other one that I'd say of the best big guys going out of the slot is probably Devontae Adams.
Hey, Luke, how are the Packers doing right now?
Shut up.
New York Jets, baby. Jets, Jets.
Yeah, so the Jets have flown out to California to be with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to speak publicly for Packers Nation. So what I'm about to say,
You just stepped into a large role.
Yeah, man, you gotta. Packers Nation, cheesehead. Luke,
No. That city is owned by the town of Green Bay, and you've never been within 50 miles of Green Bay. You don't have permission to speak.
I am a shareholder.
No, you're not.
I have a % sharehold in Green Bay Packers. I will send you a link to my shareholding document.
Send it right now while we're on this podcast. Send me the link.
Let me speak for Steeler Nation now.
You can't do that.
Oh my God, Lane, you can't do that. Every time you speak for Steeler Nation, it comes off rambly and Kenny Pickett's going to be the MVP next year and something crazy.
Maturing is
Before-
realizing that Kenny Pickett's the next Johnny Unitas.
Mitch Trubisky was not that bad. Let's just get that straight real quick.
Can we get a Bill
he was
Belichick
awful.
comparison for Kenny Pickett, please?
While I'm looking for this, I am going to speak. I have been alive since the year 2004. I did not really watch football until around 2013. The first 9 years, I didn't really care. And then I went on a trip to Disney World with a few of my friends. Let me start by saying this. I've always been a Packers fan, but for like the first 2 weeks that I started watching football, I wanted to be weird and different. So I just randomly cheered for the Carolina Panthers. I just wanted them to do well. But then my friend was like, hey, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. You need to be one too. And I agreed. And so I started watching Packers games. For the majority of my fandom, Aaron Rodgers has had the entire city just in the cup of his hand. Every offseason, it feels like he does the same thing. And there is a term for it, but we are a family-friendly channel, but I'm going to put it in the chat.
Say it.
If I put it in the chat, will the viewers be able to see it?
I have
I don't
absolutely
think
no
so.
idea, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
We're
So
already
he-
marked as explicit, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he does. I can say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say that. You can absolutely say that.
He blue balls us every single year. Here's a document of the Aaron Rodgers lifestyle. He goes on the Pat McAfee show. He says, "Oh, I haven't made any decisions yet." He turns off his phone and digs himself underground and smokes just a lot of drugs. Just a lot of drugs.
He's on crack.
He's on
crack.
every drug known to man.
He's definitely done
comes
acid.
out. He comes back out. The Packers publicly plead for him. He says, "Oh, I'm still not sure." I start to get comfortable with the idea of a backup coming in. And then the opening day, he's still on the Packers. As a Packers fan, I'm going to speak. I am ready for the Jordan Love regime to start. I hope,
Start
that,
buddy.
sometime.
I hope that he does not go to an NFC team. If he goes to the Jets, we don't play him next season. And I believe that we don't play him for the next 2 seasons since we played him this year. So
Yep.
if he goes to the Jets, here's my prediction. If he goes to the Jets, he signs a 2-year contract so that he can play the rest of his career without ever having to play against the Packers. But so he never rivals the Packers, but he still gets to play football for 2 more years without retiring. So that's just my opinion on what I think he should do. I believe that Jordan Love really does have a good amount of talent. The preseason games that he's played, I've watched with great fondness. We have a super young team, and don't get me wrong. If it's time for Aaron Rodgers to leave and it's time for the Love regime, we're not going for the Super Bowl next season. It would become a rebuild. But
No,
yeah. It's not one that's going to be painstaking. It's not one that's going to take a long time for me. We have Christian Watson. He's good. We have him for a few years. Robert Tonyan, I'm sure we're going to renew his contract.
Jair Alexander.
Yeah, our team is not going to to be bad.
Rashawn Gary, I think, is going to be a free agent. But
I
they might
gotta
just
add
sign him.
too. I gotta add too. What Packers fans in the organization, if they do that next year, are going to have to just be comfortable with the fact that they're not going to make the playoffs next year, and they're probably not even going to have a winning record. So you cannot fire LaFleur just because of that. LaFleur's a good coach. I don't know where all this stuff comes from all the time about how he's so terrible of a coach. Matt LaFleur's a good coach. I think you got to hold on to him.
But I heavily respect the Packers organization. As a Steeler fan, they kind of rival us, honestly, as one of the best organizations in the NFL. And I like to claim that both of them share that title. And
What about the
you were
Atlanta
saying
Falcons,
is
huh?
awful. And what I was going to say is that I think that the same thing going with the Packers. I'm trying my hardest not to bring this over into Steeler territory, but I'm saying that it's almost kind of like what the Steelers are going through, everything, finding your new identity while a Hall of Fame quarterback departs you. And it's not going to take that long for the Packers to rebuild a team and possibly get back up to that level. You see, for a ton of teams, it only takes 1 or 2 free agent signings, and boom, they're right back up. But I think if the Packers can make a splash move and, actually start drafting high-quality receivers, then
Oh, God. Oh, they're one of the worst. They have quietly been one of the worst teams at drafting talent.
Well,
That's why I think I'm skeptical of Love right now.
Historically,
they've been
great. In the last 5 years, we've just been really terrible about anything. We don't really make big off-season splashes. We don't sign big names. There was rumors about J.J. Watt coming to play for us. He went to the Cardinals. Like every single year, I'm on pretty much every Packers forum to ever exist. I hear that we're about to become the next Pro Bowl team pretty much, and then we just show up in our opening day rosters the same as it was since 2013.
And you're not getting any younger either.
We haven't changed our roster at all. So I like Christian Watson. I like Robert Tonyan.
Romeo Dobbs came on at the end of the year, and he was really good.
Yes. Here's what needs to happen for the Green Bay Packers. We need to make a decision about one of our running backs. It needs to be Aaron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be A.J. Dillon.
No.
A.J. Dillon is fine. It does not need to be him. He needs to be
A.J. Dillon will also play off that rookie contract for a while. I feel like you'd have to address Aaron Jones' contract because he's going to be wanting big money.
Okay, that's fine. Keep him until he wants that big money. But if you're okay, let's say you're the Steelers. Would you take a trade that involved A.J. Dillon because it involved him? Yeah, he's a pretty good running back. The Green Bay Packers are historically not a running team. I mean, we ran a little bit when we had 500-pound Eddie Lacy. Yeah, that's fine. But he was also like a refrigerator out there running around. But if we're running a one running back offense, and really we're only putting them on like drag routes for Aaron Rodgers to throw the occasional touchdown pass to, put them in a trade piece, trade for a second-round pick, use our first and this new second, trade into the top 10, get somebody like Jackson Smith and Jigba, and just ride off into the sunset. Like, Robert Tonyan cannot play the role of, let's say, Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce or even, I don't know, George Kittle. But he can play that, like, mid-tier tight end that's pretty good at blocking and pretty good at receiving. We have Aaron Jones, who really should be in the conversation for a Pro Bowl every year. We have Jordan Love, who I'm really high on, and we have a solid set of like young receivers. And our defense in the last half of the season played phenomenally well. Like, we're not the best defense in the NFL, don't get me wrong. But like that second game, or the second game we played that season against the Vikings, where we beat them like 45-7 or whatever it was, our defense played just phenomenally that game. If we have that defense show up and we have this young offense, 2 or 3 years before we're back destroying the division.
Well, that's another thing I was going to bring up, though, is that even in the midst of a rebuild, like the Packers are going to be in a division that's not going to be getting any easier anytime soon. Like, if anything, it's going to get even harder because the Vikings, obviously, I don't think they're going to go anywhere.
The Lions are being revitalized.
The Vikings, by the way, might need a new quarterback. Just keep that on the low. And the Bears, I mean, they got Fields. Yeah, they got Fields. They should not trade Justin Fields. That'd be ridiculous. They got Fields. They need to get him some weapons, and then they're going to be rolling. So, they got to really handle this correctly, I think, if they're going to be, competitive.
All right, I'm going to interject because we're rolling up on this 45-minute mark. So whenever you guys want to wrap this up, let's do that.
Let's go about 5 or 10 more minutes.
Let's talk about one last thing. Recently, Colin Cowherd released his top 10 NFC quarterbacks list. I don't know if you all have seen this list, but to me, at first glance, it's a bad list. So topping
most
the list,
of his are.
Well, let's just listen to it. The best quarterback that Colin Cowherd says is in the NFC is Matthew Stafford.
What?
Which Stafford
Excellent
is
choice.
Stafford is probably in the top 4. He is not.
I don't know. He was awful
5.
this year. I don't know. This year's awful.
He was also
dude.
concussed for half the year, so I mean.
Yeah, but even when he was healthy and he knew where he was, I don't think he knew how to throw a football. He looked awful.
And the thing is, that's not a testament.
Yeah,
to how
he is
Stafford
coming
has
off a
been
ring,
throughout
though.
his career. Like, that's not how. Yeah, like, he's coming off a ring. That's not a testament to how Stafford has been throughout his career. Stafford has been a great quarterback before. He's just
Maybe you do put him in the top 5 because of the Super Bowl. Maybe you do put him in the top 5 because of the Super Bowl.
No, but I don't think you all understand. Jalen Hurts is number 1 this past season.
Jalen Hurts is obviously number 1. It's not even close. It's not even
And
close.
really, he has.
I can't believe Stafford over Hurts.
He hasn't put. Okay, we have a group chat that we talk about sports in almost all day long, and the boys know how I feel about this gentleman. But I'm already ready to put Brock Purdy in the top 8.
I don't think he's going to be the starter next year.
I don't think he starts.
Okay, number 2, he put Jalen Hurts. That's fine. He should be 1.
They got destroyed.
Number 3, Jared Goff.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I
Goff
don't
is
see
up
that.
there,
I said this on one of our early stuff in it, and me and Luke got like yelling at each other, like one of our first ever episodes of anything. Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
No. So, Jared
Yes.
Goff probably deserves to be number 4, but the list in front of him is so different. I'm going to read the rest of the list, and then we can kind of make ours. Number 4.
The only thing that I was going to say was that I feel you guys aren't going to like me for this one because I know you guys really don't like this player. I don't like him, but I'm not going to discredit the fact that aside from this season, dude's low-key been highly underrated as a great quarterback is Dak Prescott. I've always thought Dak Prescott was a really good quarterback. He's just not built
Is he
for
a
what
top
the Cowboys
10?
need.
I agree.
Is he top 10? I'd put him on the cusp.
I'm going to read off this
He
list
hasn't
real quick.
won.
We can discuss it. He has Goff at 3, Kyler Murray at 4, Dak at 5, Carr at 6,
Oh.
Kirk at 7, and Geno at 8.
Hell,
So that's a
I
terrible.
want what Colin Cowherd is smoking, not what Colin Kaepernick is smoking. This is probably awful.
Colin Kaepernick is smoking on the kneeling during the anthem tag.
controversy
I didn't say-
surrounds ass.
I didn't say it was good or bad. I just said he was doing it. Anyway,
He was doing it. He probably still is. Or still would.
he absolutely was doing it. But here's what I got to say. Kirk Cousins got to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
No.
I put Kirk Cousins in there.
Did you watch the wild card game? Did any of you watch the wild card game?
Okay, look, listen.
If a quarterback cannot perform in clutch, they don't belong anywhere near the top 3. They don't even belong in the top 5 hardly.
Well then Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Carr, Cousins, Geno, none of them deserve to do it.
Jalen Hurts performed in clutch all year.
Does Geno Smith deserve to do it because of how poorly he played against the Niners in the playoff game? I mean, they almost beat him.
He wasn't in clutch, though. When he was in clutch, he was okay.
Okay, what about Derek Carr?
Luke.
Derek Carr is not a clutch
Kirk
quarterback.
Cousins underthrew Hawkinson for like that thing that was going to win him. That was going to get him a first down.
He threw a 3-yard pass on a 4th and 8. He threw a 3-yard pass.
Here is the people in my top 8. It is in no particular order, but here's the people in my top 8. I'm gonna put Jalen Hurts there. I'm gonna put Jared Goff there. I'm gonna put Kirk Cousins there. I'm gonna put Dak Prescott there. I'm gonna put Aaron Rodgers there. There's no saying that he's gonna stay. If he leaves the NFC, then he would be out of the list, of course. But as of now, he's in the NFC and he's a top 8 quarterback in the NFC.
Well,
putting Gronk
he's Aaron Rodgers.
I'm putting Daniel Jones there.
No.
Daniel
I don't
Jones.
I'd put Jimmy Garoppolo over Daniel Jones. I'd say Jimmy Garoppolo is more deserving of like that 8, 9, 10
He got
range.
a bag, though.
He
got
did.
a bag.
I think he made more money this year than Patrick Mahomes did last year.
I don't see that. See, I don't understand that, but we can talk about that here in a second.
And then I think that so his list is the top NFC quarterbacks. I'm going to say that's based on talent and not performance, because if we're going on talent and not performance, then I'm putting Justin Fields in that list too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably go on
Justin Fields
performance.
doesn't have the stats, and his team sucks, but Justin Fields is a
Justin
top
Fields
8.
can either look like Michael Vick or Jamarcus Russell. It really depends on how the team around him is playing. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I think he's got some.
flack.
I think he's got some
I get-
serious issues with his arm.
So,
Yeah.
Colin Cowherd, 4 gentlemen here, invite us on the show. We will not be like LeVar Ball when he joined that show. Did you all see that clip of LeVar Ball?
Yeah, that was fun. I miss
Howard
LeVar. I
Stevens.
miss LeVar. I really
He
do.
wouldn't
LeVar.
speak to, I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. I have a lot of respect for her. This is not do you all know it?
No.
His female co-host.
I have
just
no
know
idea
who
on
you're talking
Cowherd.
about.
No, I don't watch
Joyce.
Cowherd.
Joyce, isn't it Joyce or
I have
something?
no idea.
I, have
Anyway,
no
I thought
idea.
Lane was like a genius on this stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, Colin Cowherd, invite us to the show. We'll give these takes live to more viewers than this will get.
And we'll remember your
we'd like
co-host
to
name.
thank- Yeah,
We'll figure it out eventually.
we would like to thank Eli Finley for joining us today. As always, and by as always, I mean maybe starting now, I've been Luke Edmonds, Sam, Lane, Nolan. Thank you all for watching. It has been a great ride. It will start to become a great ride. Amateur Statistics Scholar, Episode 1. Thank you all so much.
Have a nice ass day.